Vecchio, only a 5-game slate on this Thursday in Major League Baseball, but a ton of day games in that 5-game slate as well. Let's focus first on Camden Yards. The Orioles and the Red Sox, a divisional duel between Boston and Baltimore, and a pretty good pitching matchup. Old Uncle Chuck, Charlie Morton for the O's, taking on Tanner Houck on the other side for the Sox. How do you break down the matchup?
There could be some offense. It's like 75 degrees. There's about 14-mile-per-hour wind blowing out, so this could spell some shorter pitching matchups. So I like Charlie Morton under 5.5 strikeouts. Boston, they're striking out, or at least, Rafi Devers is striking out. So striking out a lot to start the season. I don't want to look at just the season. If we include last year, 2024, so the first few games of this year, with their current active roster versus righties last year, it was at 23. It's a 23% strikeout rate versus righties. Like, that's not dramatic. Like, it's below the league average. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. We're not talking about 28% here. So Morton is a pitcher that is never going to be pumping that 28% strikeout rate. It was 23.8% last year. Plus the weather, this could be a short outing for Charlie Morton. So give me under 5.5 strikeouts at -102.
Love it. Wind blowing out in those first two games here on the East Coast in Philadelphia and Baltimore. Something to keep an eye on. High temperatures into the 70s there. Should be some fun. But late night tonight, if you will, 7:40. That's the latest start tonight in Major League Baseball. Cincinnati and Milwaukee from the Dome in Milwaukee. Lodolo, the lefty, on the mound for the Reds. And then Nestor Cortez, the lefty for the Milwaukee Brewers, who got lit on opening day, or one of the first two games there in Yankee Stadium. A total of 8 across the board tonight. Side total, team total, Tom, what gives tonight in this game?
Let's go to the Reds team total over 3.5. It was sitting at -128 a little while ago. The Brewers don't have a good pitching staff. That's what it comes down to. And you want to look at the first series, they gave up 11 runs or whatever it was to the Royals the other day. So far this season, they're dead last in the league with a 5.28 xFIP. They're allowing 2.89 home runs per 9. The Reds, Donnie, as we've discussed, they are a fun team. They may not be amazing, but they have some power in that lineup. And you give me Nestor Cortez versus going up against Elly De La Cruz. We're looking at multiple bases for him, probably some RBIs, and more importantly, the team total. It's 3.5. I saw it jump up to -140. I still think it's playable there. The Reds put up some runs against the Brewers.
My sweet Cincinnati Reds, only 2 wins so far this year. I need over 79.5. Let's start it today, Vecchio, the opener of a 4-game set in Milwaukee over the weekend between the Reds and the Brew Crew in NL Central divisional duel. Tom Vecchio, as always, the prop perspective, sensational. Thank you for being here on this Thursday. We continue to go around the bigs up next on TEL. Just a 5-game slate on this Thursday around Major League Baseball. A lot of teams have the day off. It could be getaway day and a series finale for some, or the start to a weekend set in other spots. DRS, let's begin with the New York Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yesterday, matching a career-best 13 strikeouts, Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks knocking off the Yanks inside Yankee Stadium, despite a late Anthony Volpe 3-run home run in the home half of the ninth to provide a little bit of hope for the Yanks. Arizona does prevail. Merrill Kelly gets the start today against Cookie Carrasco and the Yankees. New York booked as a minus money home favorite, -120. Total stands at 9.5. Pretty lofty total for early April up in the tri-state.
Yeah, it should be, by the way. 70 degrees expected around first pitch tonight here. Wind blowing out double digits to left field. So we have all of that environment that we love at Yankee Stadium, that when the weather is nice and the wind's blowing out there, it turns into a little bit of a bandbox. So having said that, you look at Merrill Kelly, first start of the season, pretty good. His ERA, 1.69. ISO power number, weighted on base percentage through 23 batters he's faced, very good. But again, it's just one start on the season. You flip it over to the other side and you take a look at Carrasco. Not a lot to love about his first start, because if you just break it down in simplicity, a 13.5 ERA tells the tale. Only 11 batters faced. They've hammered him. ISO, weighted on base percentages, all high there. But also understand this. We're now getting to the point where at least we have 10 at-bats or more against, let's just say, lefty or righty splits here. You look at the Arizona Diamondbacks entering into this game, the estimated lineup, at least the top 7, going up against right-handed pitching this year, weighted on base percentages as followed: 481, 376, 515, 369, 760, 564, 472. Small sample size, really good numbers. Struggling pitcher in his first start, maybe that bodes well. Now you take a look at the New York Yankees lineup here for you, Ben. Same thing. Merrill Kelly, though, strong start to the season in his one start. but weighted on base percentages here for the Yankees. If you start with Aaron Judge, 406, 467, 489, 435, 554, 858 in limited at-bats of around 10 at-bats or less on the season against right-handed pitching. Just makes sense. I like the under yesterday in the Bronx. Today, complete opposite. I like the over. The pitching matchups, decent. Hitting weather should be there. Ball should travel.
Juice on the over as well at minus 124 now live on the over 9.5 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Could we see it touch double digits? Maybe so by the time we get to first pitch tonight around 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Yankees swept the Brewers in their opening three-game series in the Bronx, now in danger of being swept in this three-game set by the D-backs. If Arizona wins today, they are the slight underdog with Merrill Kelly on the mound, DRS. After splitting their opening four-game series against the Cubbies, that'd be a sweep. That'd be a 5-2 start for Arizona. Yeah. You look around the National League West, Dodgers 8-0, Padres 7-0, Giants 5-1. Right now, the D-backs 4-2. And then there are the Colorado Rockies with just a single win so far this season. Now, nobody in the NL West has played a divisional foe just yet. The Rockies hoping to avoid a sweep as well against Philadelphia today. In Philly, afternoon baseball, 1:06 p.m. Eastern time, first pitch in the Phil's DRS, greater than a $2 favorite. That total of 7, that's a thing of yesterday. 9.5 is now that live number with, again, some early April warm weather and some wind that is blowing out of the ballpark at Citizens Bank.
There you go. Look at Taijuan Walker, minus 319 favorite today with a 7 total sign. That's like the Giants total that another outlet listed for us that we absolutely hammered to the over. Now, granted, it is higher, and even if it's 7, 8, 9, 9.5, I don't think you'd have any worries here. I do expect runs in this, but it's coming mainly from the Philly side. Senzatella, only 55 batters he's faced last year. Brutal. Only faced 21 batters this year. Lefties absolutely hammering him, which means you go right to the Philadelphia Phillies and take a look at who has done damage. You've right-handed pitching, left-handed bats. Kyle Schwarber, 11 at-bats this year. His ISO's a 545 with a weighted on-base percentage of 463. Bryce Harper, left-handed batter going up against a righty. 273 ISO, 434 weighted on-base percentage. Newcomer, Max Kepler, 9 at-bats against right-handed pitching. 667 ISO, 604 weighted on-base percentage. Bryson Stott, 9 at-bats, a 500 ISO power number, and a weighted on-base percentage of 451. I like a lot of action here for the Philadelphia Phillies at the plate today. And keep in mind, we just talked about the Bronx and New York and Yankee Stadium. In Philadelphia today, a day game. About 68, 69 degrees at first pitch, 15-plus mile-an-hour winds, sustained dead out to center field for this game. Lift up, launch it out of the ballpark. That's what you get. Now, having said that, well, Donnie, why don't you just take the Phillies and it should be an easy runaway? Here's the issue. Colorado stinks at the plate. They're a bad baseball team. But you know who else is really bad? It's Taijuan Walker at pitching. So maybe it's one of those, you know what, just take the total or a team total for the Rockies because Walker's just a terrible pitcher. I can't go that far. I'm confident that the Phillies will probably score at least 5 runs today, which means some of the big boppers from the left-hand side will do some damage.
Yeah, maybe some RBIs on Bryce Harper, on Kyle Schwarber. Team total for Philadelphia DRS is 5.5. The under has the juice. It's a pretty lofty team total for early April in Major League Baseball. First of a 4-game set today in Milwaukee between the Brew Crew and the Reds, NL Central Divisional duel. And again, as we shared with Tom Vecchio, Milwaukee and Nestor Cortez, ever so slight favorite, minus 118 on that money line. Total now stands at 8. How do you see this game playing out today in Milwaukee?
It's kind of crazy. Look at Nestor Cortez. And again, a decent pitcher for the Yankees throughout his career. Goes over to Milwaukee. He plays the Yankees again in Yankee Stadium. Like, hey, he probably knows those guys, knows how to pitch in that environment. I think every single batter he faced hit a home run off him. Again, not a great start. You expecting a bounce back in this, which I do lean towards the under. And here's the reason why. Nestor Cortez is a decent pitcher. Yes, he struggled against the Yankees. Different environment here. Roof's going to be closed in Milwaukee. Not a ton of carry. And it's not really a pitcher's or hitter's ballpark, per se, swaying either direction. But you just look at the Reds. Minimal at-bats this year against left-handed pitching, so it is buyer beware. Matt McClain in the leadoff spot through 4 at-bats is a 750 ISO, which means an extra base hitter 2 of those 4 at-bats. But the rest of the lineup, let me just read you the ISO power numbers this season, which, again, is inconsequential because of how many bats they've had. But it goes as follows, Ben. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. So there you go. Good luck in that. Just give me the under to start the season. Cortez bounces back today.
8 is that total. Again, in Nestor's debut as a Brewer against his former team in the Yankees, is Nestor Cortez to blame for the torpedo bat controversy around Major League Baseball. Gave up 5 home runs and only 2 innings up in the Bronx. The only other game we did not hit on, the Twins hosting the Astros today. Minnesota, a home favorite at minus 120. DRS, we send you to the money line, my friend. But we'll talk tomorrow here at 8 a.m. Eastern time on the early line. Have a great time on the money line, I'm sure.
Friday.
Ooh, I like that. More on the early line up next.